So I was soaking my vandas in seaweed extract just now, and I discovered something on my Vanda Rothschildiana, something that made me really happy. It's a flower spike. So this is the closer look of my Vanda Rothschildiana, and spike appeared as it usually appears in vandas between the third and fourth leaf from the top. Right there. It was hiding in between leaves and I didn't even notice it because I actually didn't expect it much. So this is the first spike that I got in this area since I started to grow orchids here, and I take it as well, it's pretty much validation of my growing space and my growing method for vandas. Now this is a primary cross between Vanda Sanderiana and Vanda Cerulean, and I have both parents of this cross. This is Vanda Sanderiana. It's well, right now it's soaking in the seaweed. It is a plant that likes warm conditions, and it has hard, strappy leaves. They're pretty brittle. They're easy to break. See, this leaf is broken. It has very close set leaves, close to each other. There's not much space in between leaves. And she is very reluctant to grow the roots. This is not easy to grow roots on. So whatever roots I have on Vanda Sanderiana, I should make sure to keep them safe and alive because she's slow to grow roots. And this Vanda Sanderiana has large flowers. Mine is the alba version, so they're green and white. The regular version has pink with brown colors, like two colors on the flowers. So that's one parent. And here's the second parent of Rothschildiana. This is Vanda Cerulean. This is the Vanda that I just got in the fall. And it was imported plant, so it lost all the roots and now she's trying to grow them back. And it looks different from Vanda Sanderiana. You see the leaves have larger spaces between them. The leaves are wider but shorter. So her leaf span, Cerula is pretty compact plant. And well, the resulting cross of these two is my Vanda Rothschildiana. And normally my collection consists of mostly species, but I do have few primary crosses, and Vanda Rothschildiana is one of them. And it was not an impulse purchase. I specifically wanted this cross, and I'll tell you why. A while ago, I came across an article by Martin Motes about Vanda hybrids. It's an old article. It was published like in the 80s or so. But on the internet, when you search for something, you click here and there, and it brings you somewhere you didn't even search for. So that's how I actually found that article. And I got interested and I read it. And there was a lot about different species and the role they actually played in Vanda hybridization. And Vanda Rothschildiana was mentioned there a few times, on a few occasions. And what was said in that article made me want to buy it. Now, I don't remember exact words that was said about it. I'll try to find that article and put a link down below. But basically, the idea was that crossing Vanda Rothschildiana with huge flowers and Vanda Cerulean, that is prolific bloomer with big number of blooms on multiple spikes, would create a hybrid that has a huge flowers, because as a hybrid it might bloom with flowers that are larger than both parents, and multiple spikes with many blooms. So basically that's an ideal orchid. So that somehow got into my head that Vanda Rothschildiana is the best Vanda hybrid. And well, I wanted it, and then I got it. Now, you can see that my plant is pretty large, and it is its first blooming. That means that this plant grew that big and didn't even flower yet. So, which makes it probably reluctant bloomer, considering that before me it was in a greenhouse, or I don't know where it was. So it should have had some older spike traces, but it doesn't. This is the very first blooming this plant has. So maybe the prolific bloomer part is not here, but I'm hoping that the flowers will be big and blue. We'll see. Now, the fact that my space and my growing method did induce the first flower spike on this plant actually makes me really happy. And maybe then my other Vandas will follow her example and create spikes too. And I do realize that having spike doesn't guarantee that I have blooms, because there's lots of things that could go wrong with that spike. But at least it's there. Okay, one more look at the spike. I'm scared to touch it. So please keep your fingers crossed and the toes that it doesn't blast for me. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.